You've been dreaming for your entire life. You wake up and it's the year 1750 and you're a pirate captain in the Caribbean. What's your first move?
Leave a comment about your thoughts on the question.
Write and perform Jolene by Dolly Parton, changing history as it becomes a pirate's blues anthem.
But with any popular music, really history may not unfold the way you dreamed it, but music is music. Though of course, since this is before the widespread advent of copyright law, your gains from doing this may be limited. You'd certainly be famous, though, even if you weren't rich.
Unless it works the way dream logic does, where the songs sound great in your brain but when you wake up it's all nonsense.
I was thinking, great idea, but then all the pirates would start to wonder if I'm gay, me begging her not to take my man and all. Hence, being captain, I'd lead the most progressive ship around. Centuries ahead of its time. My second mate and my deckhand even end up together. I mean, all those guys in a single boat for months on end? I don't think you'd be the first, or only one talking about wanting a man.
I'm begging you, please don't steal me booty. It's not history, you didn't time travel, you just woke up.
Yes. But in this dream I know the song. And at that time the song didn't exist, so I would then write it and make it a pirate song instead of what we know it now as a country song. Not saying Dolly Parton would have ever existed in that timeline, but in that timeline it would be a pirate shanty.
Yep, a bunch of hurdy-gurdy versions of pop music.
This is the only correct answer.
Convince my crew that I am Jack Sparrow. Adopt all his mannerisms and appearance. They won't get the reference since the movie doesn't exist for them.
Except for one, your first mate, who is conveniently also a redditor from this thread. Said redditor decides to join in and roleplay as your Gibbs.
Personally, hightail it to the innate British colonies and give some insight into this constitution they will be writing in about 25 years. Until then the pirate team of freed slaves sounds good.
What constitution? Your brain just made that up.
And executed.
Because you know who loves pirates who use slaves? The Founding Fathers.
Go back to sleep and hopefully wake up as Batman.
What if you wake up as Pirate Batman? Yeah, but your whole life would be lived in the darkness, not to mention that you wouldn't have any parents. Then again, you would be super rich, so that kinda makes it better.
Stop being a pirate, because it's far too late in history to be a successful pirate in the Caribbean. And I also don't want to start rolling the dice on the will I catch yellow fever and die lottery.
Check to make sure my crew isn't screwing around.
I upload videos every day, so subscribe to get updates regularly.
Acting like a lot of marshmallow mateys.
Pirate ships were floating gay orgies. I can almost guarantee they were screwing around.
Contact the king and ask for pardon to become a privateer. The majority of the pirates that the laymen are familiar with were active between 1690s to the 1720s, and each one for a very short period of time. The life expectancy of an active pirate was abysmal. The pirates that turned privateers, though, did relatively well.
Bet all of my gold on America winning the revolution.
Tortuga.
And die of syphilis. Honestly? Probably drown myself.
I go to Reddit and ask.
Get first dibs on the spice trade.
Start creating the internet to capitalize on it while also speeding up human innovation by centuries.
Post up in Hawaii and avoid the natives until 14th February 1779 so I can watch Captain Cook get got.
Jump out and die.
Fund a slave revolution.
I'ma go take a shit, then die of a waterborne disease.
Aim for the Americans, and send all merchant ships that don't swear allegiance to the bottom of the sea.
What that will be doing there? It's driving me nuts.
Eating something with vitamin C in it.
Well, if I've been dreaming that long, next thing I need to do is take a piss.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Get me a parrot and a good crew and sail the high seas plundering.
Go back to sleep.
Assuming that my dreams gave correct historical and scientific information, use my knowledge of what would be my new future to make a nearly insurmountable fortune, then spend the rest of my days having enough sex with enough women that the number of my direct descendants in the 21st century would rival Genghis Khan. And, as a bonus, I know enough about antibiotics that the occasional period VD won't keep me down for long.
Buy stock in Microsoft.
You know, if you like this video, you should let me know by hitting the like button.
Ask why's the rum gone?
Realistically, 99% of the people on here die in the first 30 days. Very few would know the languages and customs of that time. Very few would know the idioms, most would die from disease, being a heretic, or not knowing shit about operating a ship, so they'd be drowned in a mutiny. So your best bet would be to kiss your ass goodbye, or hand over the command to someone else and hope they don't kill you.
Drink the rum.
Go into storage and look for the stash of rum and get wrecked in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Drink booze and find other pirates.
Find the nearest port. Then sell every single thing on my boat. Then attack and rob the port and take my stuff back. Rinse and repeat all game.
Definitely getting a jar of dirt and boasting about it.
Buy Bitcoin.
Try and find some rum. There's never any rum.
Pick up a sword and bury some gold with detailed instructions on how to find it. For someone else to take my money.
Invent ska music, so it can be outdated earlier.
First, I would weep because I slept through the golden age of piracy, roughly 1650 to 1730, aka the era people think of as pirate times. Then I would remember my history. Initially, the Spanish were the leading colonial power in the Caribbean, but their stance towards the New World was to loot anything precious they could find and send it to Spain. Defenses, if they existed, were easily ignored, and the Spanish only really had naval escorts for the treasure fleets heading to and from Spain. Havana was the main focus since that's where the fleets met up. The ships would fill their hulls with loot from ports and then return to Havana for the crossing. So, pirates would usually pick off these ships before reconvening in Havana or, if the pirates had the numbers, sack the cities. So pirates could make cities like Port Royal into extremely wealthy ports just by piracy. By 1750, most colonial powers had disavowed their tacit acceptance of pirates. The English governor of Jamaica had basically invited the pirates to set up shop in Port Royal as a defense strategy. Spain was in decline in the region, and other nations started exploiting it for their gain. So pirates were bad for business. Strict anti-piracy laws were common by 1750, and all of the pirate havens we think of, Tortuga, Nassau, and Port Royal, were either destroyed, like Port Royal when an earthquake wiped out the city in 1692, or removed by military intervention and/or treaty, like Nassau and Tortuga. So these wild cities of vice were relatively tame by 1750. So to answer the question, I would take whatever loot I had, split it amongst the crew, and then seek a pardon from whatever power I could find. Then, get out of the region as fast as possible. TLDR, a history lesson of the Caribbean and why it would be awful to be a pirate in the 1750s. 100 years earlier would be better.
This is a much more detailed answer to exactly what I thought. Most pirates had relatively short careers ending in death. I would take what I could and nope the hell out of there. I would probably set up shop as a businessman somewhere. And assuming my dream was correct, in about 25 years there would be a huge need for military equipment in the American colonies. A guy could make some money there. Depending on your age now, 25 years is a long time more to live back then. Basically the same thoughts here. Seek pardon, start studying bread mold.
This guy pirates.
That was my first reaction. Cry because I missed meeting and Bonnie and Mary Reed.
On that note, the 7 Years' War is around the corner. Privateer for HMS and just harass any French ships coming out of New Orleans.
A good bet would be to cash out, seek a pardon and take your sailing expertise into the whaling business in the South Pacific before those hunting grounds were discovered, where you could operate your business unhindered by the impending Revolutionary War. Maybe discover Hawaii. And hang out there. Amass a large fortune and buy a sizable potion of Manhattan or something.
Get to Tortuga. Find the rum, the salty wenches and have fun.